Imagine automating 90% of your sales tracking, reducing the management of those sales numbers from 20 hours per month to 10 minutes per week, tripling the cash per call, as well as increasing the close rate from 20 to 36% in just a few months. Well, that's what we did for Client Ascension. And in today's video, I would like to show you what they use, what we built, what goes in the back end, and kind of explain the entire process. Now, before they work in with us, there was a dedicated person responsible for all the sales numbers, right? And unfortunately, there were 7 different spreadsheets that were all inputted manually. Now, as you can already see, that's a huge problem because, the amount of error that could appear is ridiculous, right? And when it comes to data making decisions, that's not really something you want, right? The last thing you would want is uncertainty when it comes to making that decision. Okay, what happens next in the company so we can, grow. The entire routine was very ineffective, checking Slack for every single message or booked call that comes through, looking at the CRM, trying to understand what was the result of the call. If he didn't find it, he would have to talk to the sales rep, then looking at Calendly, Hyros, and after he got all of the information, he would go into 7 different spreadsheets. So not only that takes a lot of time that could be leveraged elsewhere, but also, doesn't provide you with anything beyond what spreadsheets can do, right? It's just like simple numbers. Maybe, you can see the close rate, you can see the trend, and that's everything, but no other relationships between the data. And that's what we did here. So the solution is pretty simple, right? Talking to the business and understanding the process so that we can build a scalable system that is specifically made for them. Right. We also learned that they do like reports on a monthly basis, trying to compare a bunch of stats from this month and last month. And one of the main things they want to also implement was tracking lead sources, right? So you have people coming from setters, paid ads, organic, and they want to differentiate performance of each channel to see what essentially works. So right now I would like to show you 3 dashboards that we built for them. How does it work? What are the automations, etc.? So let's get straight into it.
So first things first, obviously disclaimer, this is dummy data just to show you what they use, but yeah, just want to get it out there. I'm not going to show you their real data, right? NDA. In terms of what they're looking at, like I said before, it's very dependent on the business, how they want to display the data. And when we combined all those 7 spreadsheets, this is kind of what we came up with. The great thing about, using the data they already have is we can create any insights, right? So we have the data is stored somewhere, and based on this data, in the future, if they wanted to implement new insights, new metrics, we can take it and blend it with other data points and create the insights we want, right? So in this specific case, when they log in, this is essentially what they look at, right? So obviously the show rate, the trend of the show rate, and like the simple numbers, right? Having cash collected per week, per month, having because we obviously grade people based on their applications when they book a call, and then we obviously offer to close, offer, and the main tables of kind of comparing of what's happening, right? Now, let me just open up, for example, closer performance. This is what you get, and essentially you can look at and compare closers and their performance, right? This is what I was talking about before, seeing the difference, right? Okay, so this person is collecting more than this person. Why is that? And then looking at, okay, so let's say John or Jeanette in this case, she's closing 30 pips. And John is closing only 5 pips, right? And then you can dig deep into what's actually happening, so you can help your sellers, your closers, to get essentially better, right? And drive more results. If they're not hitting the KPI over a certain period of time, you can fire them. If they are, then you can, promote them, whatever. And that's kind of like the main idea behind it, where you can see exactly what's the difference. So this was the closer performance side. And then we have lead source performance side. This is what they actually got the biggest results, right? Again, dummy data just to show you, but essentially over a few months of just gathering the data and seeing what works, what doesn't, they essentially tripled their cash per call, right? As well as the show rate. And the difference was like ridiculous. They have obviously multiple sources, right? But as a business, you usually have 2 or 3 maximum. They are producing the highest volume of calls, I would say, but just by looking at the data, they were able to identify what actually works and what doesn't. Now, like I said, 90% of everything is automated, but what does that mean exactly, right? So this is an appointments page. So the guy, as I was talking about before, was inputting all the 7 spreadsheets, right? Obviously, they have a different company or other company that they're taking care of as well. So it's just a lot of time. In this case, what we were able to do is automate it, and the only thing he has to do, or the closers, right, because closers have a login as well, so when they log in, they see something different, but it's the same principle, and resolving those appointments, right? Some things in tracking, unfortunately, cannot be automated. If you are, let's say, you want to track like offer percentage, offer to close percentage. The input has to be at some stage manual, right? So me as the guy who is supposed to take care of the sales numbers, I hit resolve and I fill out all the information about the appointment, about the prospect, right? And usually it's predetermined, from lead source to who's the closer, etc. But just like the result, do we offer the person? What was the payment plan? If this was the payment plan, how much was cash collected? Each appointment, I'm telling you right now, each appointment takes 10 seconds to fill out, right? And just reducing so much time. So cannot automate the entire thing, and sometimes it's not even the best case scenario if you were to automate the entire process, right? Then we obviously have a CEO dashboard, which I'm not going to show you. That's actually confidential information, what metrics they look at. But yeah, I guess last thing in terms of appointments, they have a system in Slack where if someone is unqualified, they hit an emoji and it triggers their automations to cancel the appointment. Well, that's taken care of as well. Before, he had to look at all the appointments and then make sure the data aligns in terms of cancels, rescheduled, and that's all taken care of inside an automation. So let me just quickly show you a few automations we have for them. And something just triggered. But essentially, we have automation for every single appointment triggered. Same thing with rescheduled, same thing with canceled, and it's just taken automatically, right? We track where did they come from, who's the closer, who's the setter, etc., making this so much easier and so much more accurate, right? There's no room for error, like I was saying about. There's another automation to make sure we calculate a bunch of stuff. So yeah, like I said before, everything was modeled around their business, and by building out these automations, these dashboards, first off, manual work is eliminated essentially. On top of that, they're able to compare every single performance, what they need, also create reports in a way that first off, tells them exactly what the difference is, but gives them the best pointers or where they should focus their attention to. Right? Obviously, I cannot show you the real data, but just by identifying what works best, like I mentioned before, they were able to triple their cash per call from 500 to 1600 and increase their close rate from 20 to 36%. If they were selling something for $50, then the significance wouldn't be that high. And it would be insignificant. But when you sell a high ticket service that's 5 figures, just by increasing by few percent a couple of key metrics, the difference of result is just ridiculous. So the great thing is that we have the data, and like I was saying before, we have the data, and we want it in the future to create something, some insights, some new metrics. We can, right? Because we can expand however we want, and the system is set up in a way that it's scalable in the long run. Just imagine using 7 different spreadsheets and trying to, expand it by another spreadsheet, for example. And, having a clear vision into your sales team's performance in relation with every single department in the company will help you fix any errors, that lead to lost deals. As long as you set up a system in a way that those systems can talk to each other, there's nothing you cannot see. And that's the entire point of this video, right? If you're looking to grow your high ticket offer and become an actual data-driven company, make sure to book a call down below. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.